Hi, I'm Terri Murphy, Senior Editor for Realty Times, Women in Business, Women in Real Estate in the Men's Room with Murph. I love having really interesting men in the men's room, and today I do. His name is Doug Devitre. He's an amazing guy. He's been an entrepreneur on the cutting edge of technology for as long as I've known him. And now he's bringing to us a magnificent platform that's going to help everybody do my favorite thing, which is communicate with purpose and intention. Welcome, Doug.
Thanks so much, Terry, for having me today.
Well, Doug, we've got a long way together, and I've watched you put together some amazing thing from screen to screen selling. You're an author, entrepreneur, and now you've come across this platform that addresses some of the issues, the many issues we all have with communication. We all have intentions, but sometimes they don't come across in a way that is collaborative or connective. Tell us a little bit about what CoTrackPro is.
Sure, Terry. Well, thank you. A lot of what I've done as an entrepreneur is take a look at some problems, not just that I have, right, but problems that society has, and try to create real solutions. And that's how screen to screen selling was born, was to try to get off the road and try to help people without being physically present. And CoTrack Pro is no different. And so I think that any family, right, that goes through difficult times, whether they have communication breakdowns, end up in a situation where they maybe get divorced or separated, things can kind of get lost in translation. And especially when there's a lot of details, there's a lot of paperwork, especially with the digital world we have today, parents and professionals, right, need digital solutions to help them keep up with all of the stuff, the communication,
So,
document everything.
yeah, let's talk a little bit about this because um, people either are afraid to death of AI or they're embracing it full ways. And so, what I think we should just call for the question, and that is, this is a tool, it appears to me, to help people communicate in a way that creates um, less friction, more clarity, and you have several different buckets for it. And the one obviously that's the most interesting, I think, to a lot of people, especially in the real estate industry, because I know that industry, is co-parenting. I mean, oh, let's get complicated. We've got his, mine, ours. Okay, tell us a little bit about that one first.
Sure. Well, inside CoTrack Pro, there's 7 different AI powered apps, each to kind of solve their own specific problem. And particularly in the area of communication, right, where you're sending messages through a variety of different mediums, whether it's by email, by text, social media, or maybe it's a co-parenting app like Our Family Wizard that a lot of people are used to. Many times, especially in a high conflict situation, we can get our emotions really wrapped up into it. We might not necessarily send a productive message, right? Because it's so filled with, this, that, and the other that takes us off track of really what we're trying to accomplish.
And really, at the end of the day, it really helps the process. I mean, if you're going to have to go through the process of any kind of separation, you got to think about the family. And I would say, being good at this, is that you're not always yourself when you're in a highly emotional state. And that calls for a lot of emotional intelligence, which, thankfully we get better at as we get older. But so let's use it for real estate for just a minute. What's the biggest way that CoTrack saves agents time and, let's just say, money?
Sure. Well, let's just say, um, well, what it did with CoTrack Pro is took the top 100 uh, co-parenting conflicts or discussions that you need to have, right? So these are already loaded in as prompts for the user to click. It loads it into the system, right? And then you can customize it particular to a specific problem. So it could be about, access to the home or something with regarding the child. And then you click on generate with AI, and what it does is instead of sending, a nasty, spiteful message that's filled with blame and everything like that, it turns that message into a clear, respectful, kind, and collaborative message that you can copy and paste and put into whatever medium that you're sending. Also, there's an go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, give me an example. So this is an app. It's on my phone. I get an email from Mr. X who says, I can't pick up the kids. I got to go fishing. Okay, let's pick that one. And I want to go, let me help you swim with the fish. I'll tell you. So, but instead I go to the app, and the app uses AI, which I'm going to assume, you're going to correct me, behavioral styles, emotional intelligence, clarity, better sanity, whatever. And I respond. And so is that how that works? I go to the app and
Yeah,
go,
sure. And so what it'll do is even analyze the message and then give key words to kind of tag that the message might be hostile or retaliatory. And then when it rewrites it, then it'll say, now that we've changed this into respectful, collaborative, direct, and then there's this that you can just copy it and put it right, paste it right in. Another feature, which is I think is my favorite, is the smart reply feature. So when your co-parent or somebody else, it could even be just an agent, right, who says, you've done this nasty thing to us and our client. You take that message, you paste it in the smart reply, right, and then the AI will analyze the message and then create the smart, collaborative reply without assigning blame or attacking the other person. So again, it takes all of the emotion out of sending the message. And think about this too, right? Sometimes when we get in a high conflict situation, we stress out about it, right? Or maybe we might send something unproductive that could be counter or counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish, right? The AI features take all of that out, so that way you can feel confident every time you send one of these messages that you're trying to work together, right? Not against one another.
so that's terrific, because we're picking this particular one because a lot of people in our group have kids. I'm just going to go out there and say I'm sure that not every relationship is harmonious. It can even work if you're in a situation in a workplace where somebody is maybe trying to bully or whatever. But I know that you have 7 different pockets for this. Can you give us what they are?
Yeah, sure. So, so the one we just talked about as far as rewriting the message, that's called the Bridges app, right? The Bridge Better Communication. Another app that we have is the Decisions app. And what that allows parents to do is use a scoring methodology to be able to rank specific priorities when it comes to healthcare, education, activities, and this is a big one now, use of technology, right? Every parent has their own specific values, right? That they either grew up with or learn themselves. And so how decisions are made can vary widely. And so what this app does is it then scores it, and then there's AI created insights that help, let's say, a mediator, right, or a co-parent counselor analyze these decisions. That way they can give a third party type of recommendation and support, because let's face it, the AI isn't biased, right? It's created to work on behalf of the parents and also for the kids. So it takes that whenever there's maybe an accusation of conflict of interest, that doesn't really happen here.
Wow. So we've got Bridges, we've got Decisions. I know that you have a couple more on mental app.
Sure. So mental health is bigger now than before, especially if there becomes a situation where we become hostile, right? One of the apps that we have is called Mental, which allows you to track incidents, track your mood. There's an AI assistant coach that allows you to plug in some of the top situations where you might need mental health support, and then it gives you real-time feedback on as far as like what steps might next steps might happen. Another app is called the Cyber app, and so with this allows families, parents, or even professionals, right, who are working in school districts, to document cyberbullying. So what you do is
whoa, that's a good one, huh? Especially, I mean, now we've never had cyberbullying before. So tell me about this one. I want to hear about this one.
Well, cyberbullying is on the rise. It's not just critical for adults, but also for kids, right? And the statistics are alarming when it comes to what cyberbullying does to mental health, depression, anxiety, loss of income, right? So the cyber app that we created, out of my own situation, right? I had to document all these things. You upload the screenshots to the app. What it does is uses AI to attach a severity score. It allows you to organize and track all the specific information that you would need in order to create a police report, right? So that way, if you ever need to use it in a court hearing, you have that. And so then once you generate this history, right, of different types of activities, whether it's, I mean, cyberbullying can happen through Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat for kids. Online gaming is a big one. You know, school administrators and parents need productive ways of being able to track it, because otherwise, what happens? It just gets stuck in this email chain, right? And that's really difficult and not very productive, especially when police or the court is trying to decide what to do next.
Which brings me to one of my favorites, which is the legal app. And you know that I've been doing a lot of work in the legal field, working with communication, consulting, and presentation. And this one to me said organizes court orders, custody agreements, and key parenting dates, sending reminders so nothing is missed. So tell me about this one. This one sounds good.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, again, in a high conflict situation, there has to be evidence tracking, right? Whether there's different types of violations in the court order, the parenting plan, parents, attorneys, guardian ad litems, mediators, therapists, co-parenting coordinators. They all need a way to be able to track to see what's really happening, right? What are the different violations that are happening, and organizing it in a friendly report that can be used to decide what's the next course of action. So what we've done is taken the top 100 parenting plan violations. We've loaded them in as prompts. And that way parents can quickly go to which ones that are relevant to them, upload the screenshot, right, of whatever the violation happened, and then it organizes into this nice, clean, court-ready report that can be submitted for anyone to look at who requires access.
So this sounds to me almost like coach in an app. I can coach you how to respond in a way that is positive, collaborative, like you said, and trackable, so that it clearly has an organizational piece to it, as well as a what I would say, a verification kind to it. So how does that help in let's go back to real estate for a second. How does that help a realtor communicate with like vendors and whatever? How would that work?
Sure. Well, you know, there is a way to take, you know, the top 100 real estate conflicts, right, and turn that into its own app, right? And that might be something.
Only 100? I thought there was 100,000.
There's probably 1,000, right? You and I both know, working in real estate for a number of years. So really what it comes down to is, a lot of folks will defer to some sort of GPT like ChatGPT or Claude or some of the others. And really the importance of using this inside of a platform like CoTrackPro is it's all organized. Everything's right there. You don't have to continuously copy and paste and put it into ChatGPT and then copy and paste it and throw it back and then try to organize it in a way because so everything's right there inside of the side of the platform. And I think that's critical for anyone who's in a co-parenting relationship or even trying to manage what's happening from the outside.
Yeah. So here's what we've got the Decisions app, which gets really, I think would be highly useful because there's, well, basketball was canceled because there was a water break in the school. I mean, all of that helps because let's face it, if you've got two parents that are working and you've got children and schedules, and that's got to be an amazing way to create some kind of consistency for the kids so there's communication. The Bridges one you said is responding and rewriting with clarity. And like you said, not being real Italian when you do it, because it's obviously going to make things a little cleaner. The mental app, boy, that one's got to be really, I'm thinking, I'd like to read what you wrote about it. You said the mental app provides private journaling, guided prompts, and stress management tools so you can process frustrations before they spill into your work or home life. And see that at the core of everything is how we appear in public. And no one can tell when when you're frustrated because you can't get a parking spot that you've just gone through all this craziness with your ex or with your attorneys or whatever. So that makes really good sense. I kind of want to know, where can people actually see this in action? How could they figure this out? This is an app on your phone. It's 24/7 applicable. It's divided into responses that are the most common. I have a question. If it wasn't common, is there an app for that?
Yeah. Well, I would say that from not just my own personal experience, but my experience in talking with other co-parents who have these specific challenges, we try to take a really close look at each one of those problems and try to figure out a way, how does it make it easier? How does it save time? And how do you get it right the first time? That way you're not having to go back and forth, back and forth. So I think what I would recommend anybody do right now is go to CoTrackPro.com, or if you go to CoTrackPro.com/links, you can see all the different links to who does this platform help. So it helps co-parents, it helps attorneys, it helps guardian ad litems, it helps therapists, it helps school administrators, right? It helps the courts, it helps the judges. It helps everyone really kind of come together in a way for the best interest of kids. So it is web-based so it's not an app you can download from the store. So this way it makes it easy to access from any type of device, any specific time. And right now we're looking to partner with nonprofit and community-based organizations to give the platform to them for free. That way they can use this to do the good work inside of their communities.
So amazing work, Mr. Doug. If someone wanted to contact you to speak for another podcast, for an article, a little bit more about the CoTrackPro, what would be the best way to reach you?
Yeah, great. Thank you. So if you go to CoTrackPro.com/contact, there's a form that you can fill out to request a private demo. You can request a presentation delivered either virtually or in person. For more than a decade, I've spoken conferences across North America. So you're not just getting somebody who knows how to build software, get somebody who knows how to connect, relate, and help audiences implement new ideas. There's also a section to partner, right? So if you're interested in some sort of partnership, we can talk about how we can integrate our tools into what you're existing doing, or even customize it for your specific needs. Really, the whole goal here, when you contact us, is not only will we acknowledge your communication, right, but we will take action by either creating a resource around it, video, tutorial, podcast. We have the CoTrackPro podcast on Spotify. We're trying to do everything we can to do to help protect families and put them back together.
Well, that just makes you a greater guy than you really were to begin with, Doug, because you're just this unfortunately came out of a situation that helped you create this to help other parents. And I think today, especially in the temperature with schools and bullying and you and I both know the many legal acrobatics that go with all of this. This could be a real time saver and definitely a stress management tool. So I would encourage everybody to go to CoTrackPro, check it out. And Doug, I'd really like for you to update us on a regular basis on, because I know you're adding some more to the program as you keep going. Anyone you want to give us any sneak peek on that at all?
Yeah, sure. So I would recommend probably first where I'm posting most of the announcements is CoTrackPro on LinkedIn, right? That's where I'm posting a lot of the interviews, a lot of the screenshots inside of the platform, the product updates as we continue to do that, and also any new partnerships that we might have. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Spotify and YouTube.
Well, that's great. Doug, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for the creativity that you came to create this amazing platform. I know it's going to help parents in schools and mostly the kids going forward. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.